Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hey, this is Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. You know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com. If you like a determiner, family pet ancestry, I keep paying for it because it still makes me laugh, but all it does is point to JackieCation.com. Let's do the credits. Mike Rickberg composed and sang that song you just heard. He's going to sing his words to the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. He sings in the beginning with his wife, Sarah Cohen, father of one. Next up, Patrick Brady, going to fix this audio. Vilmos. He does the website, thejackie.cation.com. There are many ways to support the Dork Forest, PayPal being the easiest. If you hate PayPal, you can also Venmo me, or you can hand money to me when you see me do stand-up comedy, whatever you need to do. But if you want to actually give me money to support me to do the show, I would appreciate it. We're in the 12th year of the Dork Forest. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. The PayPal button is on JackieCation.com and DorkForest.com. There is a link to an Amazon button, which is just a portal on both Dork Forest and Jackie Cation that brings you to Amazon. You order like normal and doesn't cost you extra, but it supports the show. So knock yourself out if you want to do either of those two things. I have not made it easy for you to be a monthly donator. You have to remember every month that you like the show. I recommend $10 a month, and then that'll be $100 at the end of the year because of November and December. I tell you not to. You can also get merch if you want a Dork Forest t-shirt or a hoodie. I have the hoodies in stock. If you may not believe me, you can email me for anything, actually, Jackie@JackieCation.com. And I'll make sure I have your size in the hoodie, but the t-shirts are always in stock. There are Ranger of the Dork Forest t-shirts, regular Dork Forest logo design t-shirts, and a couple of stand-up shirts, Spooky Reading Girl and the Meat Shield t-shirt. The Meat Shield t-shirt is a charitable t-shirt, so all of the profits from that will go to Black Lives Matter, ACLU, and the Southern Law Poverty, whatever. Anyway, I have enamel pins for Spooky Reading Girl and Meat Shield that are not on the website. Email me, Jackie@JackieCation.com. We could talk if you like an enamel pin. Other than that, you can get my CDs and my DVD right there on JackieCation.com, the merch page, the store page. And you can get all that stuff digitally as well as Amazon, iTunes. And you can just listen to it on Spotify and YouTube. The Dork Force is also now on YouTube. There's the teaser clips, but the full episodes are actually on YouTube now as well, which is crazy. But if you like to listen to a podcast on YouTube, attainable goal is what I guess I'm saying. They're also on JackieCation.com, my tour page. You could find out where I'm doing stand-up comedy and if it is near you. And the last of it, of course, is that if there are several premium episodes that were taped and recorded live, cost me a couple of dollars, so they are on Bandcamp, thedorkforest.bandcamp.com. They cost $2 an episode, and there's probably 10 of them. There's a couple with Maria Bamford. There's one with Lorraine Newman and Moon Zappa, and just a bunch of people, super fun. And if you want to listen, if you've listened to all of these and want to get a premium episode, thedorkforest.bandcamp.com. Enough. Let us get into the program. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. I am in my living room with Marcella Arguello. Yes, Arguello. I got it, and I'm going to fuck it up again.
Yeah, but I also like that you were like a
pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've decided to do it piratey.
When I said Arguello, you were like, arg, and then you were fine with that.
And then Arguello. Because if I don't know, pirates help.
Whatever helps you, Jackie.
The history of pirates, there's nothing wrong. You know what I did forget to get is, what is your Twitter feed? Is it at Marcella?
At Marcella Comedy.
Comedy.
Marcella Comedy.
Marcella comedy is spelled like comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
comedy with a K. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that would be ridiculous. This will go out next week. Is there, what magic? Just follow you on Twitter.
Just follow me on Twitter. I mean, I'm starting my new weekly women's show, Women Crush Wednesdays. So when this drops, you're doing it. Is it dropping next? Oh, next week. Next week is the first one, January 10th. You're doing the 17th.
That's right.
In Los Angeles. I'm taking over the old Meltdown with Jonah and Kamal spot. So if you're in LA, come. But I'm doing San Francisco Sketch Fest as well, 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Oh, that's neat.
Co-headlining.
That'll be super fun.
Doing the Dozens on Friday, the 19th. Doing Risk, the storytelling show,
Okay.
And then the regular stand-up shows. So.
And then regular stand-up shows. So for sure, LA and San Francisco. And then you're on Twitter, which is Marcella Comedy.
I'll be coming to Arizona in the future and some other festivals that
awesome.
have been tricked into booking me.
Finally. They don't know the magic.
They don't.
I talk to people often with my hand on my head. So that's
I do too.
Oh, good. There we go. It's an audio show.
I'm going on the leg right now.
Oh, you went with a leg thing. Awesome.
I do the same thing. Here we go.
I have a small cough.
Just a smoker's cough.
I have a smoker's cough.
Chain smoker. Little known fact.
Chain patch user. Chain vapor.
She puts the patch right on her tongue. It fucks up her throat.
Do you know that my parents, between them, smoked 6 packs of cigarettes a day when I was a child? Yes. My dad smoked 4. My mom smoked a little over 2.
Are they still alive?
No. Well, my stepmother's dead, but my dad is still alive. But they had to remove his sternum because it was all gross.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost my dad to smoking, too.
Yeah.
So.
And but in junior high, no one would believe I didn't smoke.
Oh, I bet.
Because
you stunk.
I stunk. I reeked of cigarettes.
That shit.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. Then I went into comedy.
It's also funny because, like, as an adult, you can't just be like, cigarette smoke stinks. Get away from me. Because it's like we're always around comics who chain smoke.
Right.
And you just look like a dickhead. So I've had to explain to people like, I lost my dad to smoking. I don't want to be around this. Goodbye. And then everybody's fine with it. But if I say like, I don't want to be, I can't smell this. They're like, you pussy.
Right.
I'm like, no, I have trauma, but thank you for calling me a pussy.
Welcome to that tale.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the dorkdom.
The dorkdom.
Of Marcella.
Of me.
Arguello.
Do I say it? Do you say it?
No, one of us fucking says it.
Okay.
At some
My
point.
dorkdom is Kanye West.
Which is amazing because, and I had to mention Dwayne Kennedy's Jay-Z.
Dwayne Perkins.
It was
Don't mix up your black guys.
Oh my God, guys.
You said you did it with Jay-Z and Kanye as well.
I do. I'm
Jackie
sure.
is just admitting her racism on her podcast.
It's not racism, it's fascism. And it isn't fascism, it's self-absorption. And it's...
I call it whiteness.
It very easily could be whiteness. It's but I can't tell my bearded white guys from each other or my non-bearded white guys.
You shouldn't have to, Jackie.
I have 600 slots in my brain. They're overflowing.
Oh yeah.
You get a slot. Congratulations.
Thank you. 6'2".
I think it helps that you're
Marfan
super
syndrome.
tall.
Yeah, the whole thing. And I stick out in people's head.
It's beautiful. It's a gift to those of us who either have a thing. Yeah. Which some people say I do, that I have the face thing. Or
they're going to be like the bitch thing.
Or I have the bitch thing. Yeah. Those people are out there as well. They're like, I can't believe we've worked together. There was a guy who said, I was on your podcast. And I said, yes, we did this.
Hey, you had to fill time. Sometimes you don't care how you do it or who it's with. You got to fill the fucking time.
Right. So it was Dwayne Perkins. It wasn't Dwayne Kennedy. Fuck. Hi, Dwayne. And I'm talking to Perkins. Kennedy, fuck off.
Yeah.
No,
he doesn't listen.
He doesn't. No, I don't know who listens anymore. I know several people who listen because they email me every week to let me in on it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I mean, do they really?
Yeah, they like to
every week.
Yeah, they like to pipe in. And some people not every week, just once a month or so. They got this wrong. Actually.
Oh, really?
It's the dork forest.
Okay, so
please,
with that,
actually, Kanye,
so with that, I do want to say I don't consider myself a rap expert.
Right.
I'm not a hip hop head, which a lot of people think that I am because that's the term for people who are like rap experts.
Right.
Hip hop head. I'm not. I consider myself a hip hop little sister.
Okay.
Because my big brother
is a hip hop head.
Obsessed. I mean, just
so
the facts he knows is insane. Insane.
And let's bring him in.
I brought him.
He'll be playing the part of you at some point.
Yeah. And
but and probably more than me.
Well,
I mean,
for sure. I that's the thing, and that's why sometimes people are like, "Oh, you know a lot about rap." But if yes, compared to Jackie Cation, I absolutely know more about rap. But you get a rap journalist in here, and I sound like a fucking idiot.
Exactly. You know? How are you mixing those two albums up? Well, like for example, Kanye West. Do we know how old he is?
Do we know how old he is? He was born in 77.
Fantastic.
37, 36, 30. 40?
Yeah, he's 40-ish.
He's 40. Oh, yeah, 77. It's 2017. I'm not good at math.
No, that's fine.
Not my dorkdom.
It's right, exactly. So he's in his 40s now. He's 40. He's been doing...
Wow, I can't believe he's 40.
He's going to be 41.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's been doing the hippity hop, the rap,
doing the rap
the talking
for a long
with
time.
the music for quite some time.
Yeah.
Did he start in the 80s?
No, he did not start in the 80s.
He started in the 90s.
He was a baby boy in the 80s.
That's right, 77.
He did.
Jackie.
No, but he did actually start when he was a teen. I want to say in his early teens, he did start rapping. And then when he was a late teenager, he got like a beat machine, a sampler machine. You've seen those where they have pre-recorded sounds and they're on loop and you can make your own beats. And you can record your own sounds.
Okay.
And he got that when he was a teenager, and that's how he kind of started making beats.
Okay.
And then eventually, and he was going to school. Like his mom was a professor, an English professor. His dad was a Black Panther. They separated when he was very young. He grew up in Chicago.
Okay.
And Chicago has a great rap scene.
I have a Common album. I know.
Oh yeah,
I like some Lupe Fiasco.
Oh yeah, you like Common, huh?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's interesting.
When I say I like Common, I literally have one Lupe Fiasco album and one Common album.
Yeah, that's all right. Which Common album do you have?
Don't know. The one that the first one that was big when he was still in Chicago but coming out.
Maybe like Water for Chocolate.
Maybe.
You don't even know.
No, I don't even know.
You just like telling people you have a Common album.
I like telling people I have one album I have one White Stripes album.
Yeah.
Does anyone care about that? Probably not. A different dork.
Yeah. You need to do a dorkdom of just the first album.
I have
collection.
one Smashing Pumpkins album. Yeah. Nobody cares.
No.
So one guy cared, actually. I did a Smashing Pumpkins Dork Forest. Anyway,
he cared.
He cared. So Kanye, he's like, like in the early 90s, he gets this beatbox and he starts getting into it.
Yeah, he starts making beats and so he was going to school. He was going to an art college, and then he transferred to a state university in Chicago and started studying English because he didn't know what he wanted to do.
Right.
And he finally...
And his parents are like, just get a degree and get out.
Well, his mom was a teacher, and she wanted him to be a teacher. He's a smart kid. She's a smart woman. She's feminist, progressive, just fucking great. And Donda West, may she rest in peace. I can talk about that later. Okay. And his dad was absent, but his dad was a Black Panther and kind of a counselor. Yeah, like both of his parents influenced him a lot.
Yeah.
In different ways, with or without their presence. And so, and Kanye loves his mom. That's his everything, you know?
Is it reflected in a lot of his lyrics?
Well, he has like a song. Oh God, what is it called? Hey mama, it's so sweet. His love for his mom is very sweet. I mean, that's the other thing. The reason why he's one of my favorites is he was one of the few rappers, when he came on the scene that you were just like, oh, this guy doesn't hate women.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he still has misogynistic lyrics, but there's such a difference in men who just casually say some dumb shit about a woman and actually deeply hate women.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference.
Oh yeah. It is. And the fact is it's so, I mean, you want to call guys on their casual misogyny too, but it's so refreshing. Right. That they don't hate women, that you're like, he's just an ass. Yeah. He's just being...
it's whatever.
He's just saying some bullshit.
Yeah. There's a huge difference. And I think a lot of people don't
think that women don't know that.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
Yes.
Anyway.
Well, and there are some women that don't know that.
True.
There are some women that are just like, you have to be a perfect man all the time, or else there are repercussions. Like,
right?
Really?
And there are women who don't get that that men hate women.
Yeah.
So complete.
Yes. We're a mess.
It turns out we're human.
Yeah.
And the whole spectrum is represented, you guys, from idiots to other idiots.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Okay. So, all right. I'm done.
So his mom raises him. He goes for English.
Yeah. And so he eventually drops out of school when he's 20, and which is a big deal to his mom. Of course it is. But she still supports him. And
it's a blow, but
yeah, and
it's his life.
And he starts making... He just focuses on beats. Mm-hmm. He's an aspiring rapper, but he's making beats in Chicago.
There's like two jobs, right? There's the rapper and there's the DJ.
Right.
And he's doing the DJ side.
Yeah, I mean, DJ is a whole different job. DJ
than doing the beats?
Yes.
Making the beats. Okay.
Because you don't have to actually be a DJ to make beats. You can just make beats and give them to someone, and then they put rap lyrics over it. Okay. And that's their song. And then they can hire a DJ that can play the music.
Okay, to is the DJ the one who kind of puts it all together?
No, not necessarily. I mean,
Arrangement? Is he the arranger?
He's a producer, yes.
Yeah.
That's what he does. When you make beats, you produce.
Okay.
You get everything together. But not necessarily, because you can easily make a beat and send it to someone, and then they could put their lyrics over it. So they might have their own person doing it. They could be doing it themselves.
There's no distinction here between, with someone who just makes beats. Can do any number of things with those beats,
right?
Like they can rap over themselves.
Yes,
exactly. They can be a DJ themselves and use them with others, and mix them.
Right,
got it.
So he eventually, gets some steam under him, starts making beats for all these Chicago guys, and links up with another Chicago producer, and then, long story short, ends up with Rockefeller, which is Jay-Z and Dame Dash's label.
Okay.
And
it's called Rockefeller?
Rockefeller.
That is outstanding. Good for them.
New York boys.
Yes, they're excellent. Good for them.
Yeah, because he had been making records for like Foxy Brown and Goody Mob and all these cool rappers, up and comers. But the minute Jay-Z got a hold of the Kanye beats, that was it. Like, that was it. It changed Jay-Z's the momentum of his career.
Okay,
because he did the Blueprint. A lot of I don't know if it was everything, but it was mostly everything. This is where somebody can email.
Right, they'll let me in on it. Jackie at JackieCation.com.
The Blueprint, which Dwayne did talk about on the Dorkdom.
Yeah,
and how that was such a big.
A really influential album.
It was a big influential album. It still is. Some people still are just like, that's the one. That's the only one.
Right.
And Kanye produced it, and some of those songs are just people. I mean, they still play them. They still love all those songs. And Kanye had a big hand in that. And some people even say that Kanye helped revive Jay-Z's career with that album.
Okay.
Producing that album. And so, but Kanye still wanted to rap.
Okay.
And even though he made all these really great beats, and Kanye is known for sampling, when he was sampling soul records and changing the pitch of the voice, like making it higher and faster.
Okay.
And that chipmunk voice.
Yeah.
And he was known for that. And so, anyway, so he basically talked them into giving him a record deal to rap.
Oh.
And they didn't want to. They reluctantly signed him. The only reason Rockefeller signed him was because they didn't want to lose him either.
Okay.
Because they also knew his beats were the shit.
Yeah.
So they were like, what the fuck are we going to do if he...
What else?
Yeah. We got to at least like entertain this idea to keep him around, basically, which was genius for him because... And here's the thing about Kanye. When he came out, when he first was starting, was... a lot of like Jay-Z and Dame Dash, they didn't like him. A lot of rappers didn't like him because he was like not necessarily a backpack rapper, which is like real cornball kind of nerdy rap.
Okay.
They call it backpack rap because they're like, I don't know, read books. And so so Kanye was kind of that, but not that, because he was also wearing like pink polos, like Ralph Lauren shirts.
Okay.
And he liked wearing a different style of clothing that wasn't actually backpack rap, but it wasn't like gangster rap, which was, very popular. Yeah. And Kanye wasn't that. He wasn't that guy. He wasn't
either of those two groups.
He wasn't. He was a little of everything. Yeah. I mean, the thing I love about Kanye was, well, okay, so let me just jump to...
What year did Blueprint come out?
2001.
Okay. Thank you.
And then in 2002, he got into a very bad car accident.
Kanye West got in a bad car?
Yes.
Okay.
It fucked up his jaw. I think he had a shattered jaw. They had to wire it shut. And this inspired him to write this song called Through the Wire. He sampled that Chaka Khan, Through the Fire.
Okay.
And he sampled that beat and put her high pitched voice on it. Yeah. And that was the song that was his breakthrough song.
Okay.
It was his debut song on College Dropout, which actually came out in 2004. Okay. So that car accident happened in 2002. A couple weeks later, he recorded that song because he had that like entertaining record deal from them.
Oh, right.
So he could play around,
Yeah.
And he did that, and he That song was crazy because he literally rapped through the wire.
I was going to say, because if the accident happened in 2002 and this got dropped in 2004, but he recorded it in 2000.
He recorded it 2 weeks after it happened.
When he still had the wires.
When he had the wire, and that's why it's called Through the Wire. And it's when you listen to it, you can hear his like right now I have my teeth shut and I'm still talking, but there's some it sounds kind of funny. That's what he sounded like, and
that's so
and
weird.
He talked about it, and he talks about where like everybody got to eat pancakes, but I had to sip on syrup. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he had all these great lines and the experience that nobody really understood, and and he knew it was a life-changing moment, and it was a life-changing moment. That's what I always love about Kanye is he foresees the future, even in the present,
because he can see what things mean.
He can see what things mean and how they're going to affect him. And he just jumps on it and he rides with it. Like, even though they were like, he's not a good rapper.
Yeah.
He's wearing corny pink shirts. He's so dumb. He doesn't know about rap.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like, nope, trust me. I know myself. I know I'm going to be big. Like, you just got to have a little faith in me, the faith I have in myself.
Right. And if you like my beats, you got to let me try.
Yeah, being like, look, these beats are incredible, right? Nobody's doing this, and I'm doing it, and you guys love this. Imagine what else I can do. And they're like, no, I don't think
stick
so.
to the one thing.
Stick to the one thing.
Wow. All right.
And Dwayne even said on your podcast that Kanye isn't the best rapper, and it's true. He is my favorite rapper. He is not the best rapper.
Okay,
but he is my favorite because he's very entertaining. Because he can play around, and he's so honest. And
is it the dialogue? Is it the words that draw you to it?
It's everything. Okay, it's the
rap that I like is usually I like what the words are. Right. It's not that the beats are not fat. Yes, I think that's important that I say that like that. But I like the music, right? And I like if it's catchy and it's got a good hook and everything. Right. But if it's got an amazing, I'll listen to country music. Yeah. I like the. Wow, it's a bad idea for me to try to reference another musician without her. Janelle Monáe.
Janelle Monáe is great.
There we go. She has got some great, amazing lines, and they're not hip hop. It's not rap, right? But it's
boring.
Get off my areola is an amazing line.
Right, but Janelle's not, a household name for a reason. Okay. Because it doesn't grab you.
Okay.
It doesn't grab people.
Yeah, and I can't think of how the song goes, like musically, but I do remember some of the lyrics. Right. And so that's usually what grabs me is the story or the lyrics.
Right. I mean, and you can argue that about so many people because, Beyonce, I love her music, but a lot of her albums are fucking garbage. Like her hits, I don't know. Yeah. Her hits are amazing. You're like, oh shit, this is catchy. But you have to remember, she didn't write them. Right. She picked them. She kind of helped write them, but barely. Okay. And so she has kind of an ear for hits. Okay. But she doesn't. She doesn't write the music or the lyrics to your knowledge. No, she doesn't. Okay. And she says she does. I don't know how she finagles her name onto all these songs. But do you want to be on a beat? Do you want to exactly be the one? But she did it, and my theory is that she got a relationship with Mariah Carey at a young age because Jay-Z and Mariah and Jay-Z and Beyonce did when she was very young. Yeah. And Jay-Z and Mariah are friends. So I was like, I bet Mariah kind of was like, write your lyrics or change 2 words and put your name to get writing credit. Because as we both know, the money's in the writing. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Not in the performance. And
there's residuals, but the real money. Right, the real money and the double dipping. Right. Of both lyrics and song.
Mariah Carey is... That
might have been of help.
That's my theory because she always wrote her music, which is part of what made her so great and her album so great. Is you're like, oh, this is her, like all of her feelings and thoughts, and you can hear it. And so Mariah Carey's great. Mariah Carey as a writer is great, and as a singer, I love.
I don't know anything about Mariah Carey, but to quote Dwayne Perkins, I've been to a gas station, so I'm sure I have heard.
You've heard it. You heard Mariah it all Carey. December. All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Oh yeah,
you know that song.
Oh, I know that song.
She wrote it.
Oh, she wrote it.
She wrote it.
Oh my God.
So every December she gets, I think,
a giant fat check.
$500,000 I read. I don't know how true that is, but every December for the rest of her life, for the rest of her kids' lives, they're going to get that check because she wrote that fucking song.
Right. If you write the good Christmas song.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And
I saw About a Boy.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to Kanye, he writes with, openness, earnestness. Like he is so, he literally with his wounds open, and Through the Wire is a perfect example of that. And it was his first single off College Dropout. And he, that was the thing. He called it College Dropout because he dropped out of college.
Yeah.
And he had so many hits on there that were so good. A few singles, Jesus Walks, which is a good one. The song that really, I think, resonated with a lot of people was called All Falls Down.
Okay.
It has a Lauryn Hill sample.
Oh, wow.
And she's not on it, but she wrote the lines in the chorus. And it's about the inner dialogue, the fight that you have with yourself about, do I buy expensive clothes? Like, what am I doing? I'm insecure. Am I the only one? I know I'm insecure, and I know I use clothes to give myself confidence.
Yeah.
And unlike Dwayne Perkins, I'm not going to quote any of the lyrics because I don't have that kind of memory. But that song was great because he again was open, and he says in the song about how he's like, I'm the first rapper to say this.
Yeah,
we're insecure. I'm insecure.
Right.
And it was such a bold move, and it blew everybody's mind. And it appeals to women,
Right.
And I think that for a long time, rap has kind of, it's like, as a woman, you either just openly ashamed like it,
right,
or unashamedly like it. But a lot of women are like quiet about their love of rap because it's so misogynistic.
Right, that song about how I'm super insecure, but I kind of like rap music.
Yeah.
So,
and what was interesting was around that time, because the album came out in 2004. Around that time, there was this Rhymesayers was a record label in Minneapolis that has a lot of popular underground. It's underground, but it's as popular as underground music could get at that time. And that was, a lot of women were drawn to it because it had that kind of voice to it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the men on that group, in that label were very, very, you could tell they love women, but they're all white.
Atmosphere,
Slug is that, but a lot of those guys that were on that label have that.
Right.
And not to say that didn't exist in rap before, but it didn't exist as like cool rap, I guess it would be. It was all that backpack rap, that smart rap, that conscious rap.
Right.
Like they could only fall under that umbrella. And Kanye did something interesting. He took that style, but he put it on like these fucking dope, quote unquote, fat beats.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I think wasn't happening.
Right. He made it popular.
He made it popular for everyone.
So it was okay for other dudes not to be horrible.
Yes.
Because KRS-One was never a bitch's guy.
Right. Right.
And Eric B. and Rakim, they were like, no, we need to get laid. But it wasn't I'm going to roofie this chick and then I'm going to beat the fuck out of her.
Right.
So it was never that. So and those were popular, but they weren't the huge popularity of Eminem and Jay-Z and these other names that I'm sure I would know if they were said out loud.
And then you think about Tribe Called Quest, and then they had Bonita Applebaum, You Gotta Turn Me On, whatever that fucking song is.
Right.
And as good as that music was, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Like you had to be that like pseudo intellectual cool guy to really enjoy that music. Because it was so far removed from that quote unquote cool rap. I always think of it as cool rap, like Jay-Z is cool rap, Okay. 'Cause that's a smart dude, and but he's fucking used to sell drugs,
right?
That's quote unquote
is it
cool
just
rap.
Is it a bigger sound that you're looking for? Is it?
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, because I don't think that did they play Tribe Called Quest at the clubs?
No, but you can't.
Because it's hard. It's hard to dance to.
And I have a bit about that. About as a feminist, like the push and pull of the inner turmoil you have about loving rap, And so the jokes are like, when you hear the beat, you can't help but dance, you know? And I do this ridiculous dancing to ridiculous songs and ridiculous lyrics. And then but what is the alternative, Because the most feminist rap song ever made was Tupac, Keep Your Head Up.
Right.
It's so feminist.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just saying... I have it memorized because of my bit. He says, because a man cannot make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real man get up? I know you're fed up, ladies, but you got to keep your head up.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing.
It's goosebumps.
Yeah, it's progressive. Yeah. It's thoughtful. I mean, of course, it's saying it like it is, and it's in a rap song, but the beat is so fucking boring. And it's just like you can't pussy pop to it. Okay. And that's what you want to do with rap. Like naturally, it's just these tribal beats. Yeah. And it makes your body move. And that's the thing about most people of color, I would say, is that you do want to dance. You do want to dance. You do want to have a good time. You want it. We have those rhythms. We love it.
Yeah. People who go to clubs want to dance. They don't necessarily. And it would be great to be able to dance to something that wasn't some horror show.
Yeah.
But if the horror show is the only thing that has the good beats, you're trapped. You're trapped to dance to that.
And so Kanye, for me, and like I said, I'm not a rap expert. I can't speak for everybody. But for me, it struck me as the first time someone kind of had all the elements without being a drug dealer, because he was raised middle class. He was raised in the suburbs, just a suburb kid, and but he loved rap, and he was influenced by a lot of different shit. And that's the thing is, I think a lot of guys that came from the hood, it was like they didn't want to like certain types of music, any kind of 80s music. It wasn't cool,
Duran Duran wasn't calling,
or Madonna or whatever. Yeah. And Kanye was openly like, no, I liked Madonna. I like Michael Jackson. Like, I like that fun shit. I love popular music.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with liking popular music, in my opinion.
No.
So I feel like all of those elements created this guy who liked fat, fun fucking beats that people could dance to if they wanted to. Yeah. And smart and funny and interesting and not trying to be hardcore, because that's not what he is.
Right. And not pretending to be.
Yeah. And not white. Because a lot of the times, a lot of those elements were only allotted to white rappers because they do have the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want, and they're always going to have their white audience. Like, that's the way it is. That's why I refer to Slug, because he has that freedom.
Right. I mean, essentially, he's and this isn't accurate, but it is something. In that Eminem movie, 8 Mile, so he ends up rapping against the black guy who was raised in the suburbs, right? Which they were, and Eminem is the important part of this story, because Eminem was raised in the hood, and in that character, right? The black guys who were raised in the suburbs in the 90s and 2000s, whose parents are just middle class, working people, they also don't have that projects background, right? But they still have racism, right? So they can still come to it with this, and there's such a huge part of the world that aren't drug dealers, right? That would love to hear that from that perspective.
Yeah, yeah. And he spoke to a lot of people, a lot of young people, a lot of middle class black people, a lot of children of immigrants, who kind of don't know where they fit. Which is what I am. So, it really, I was drawn to it because I was like, it's not like complete sexist bullshit. Right. And it's not, he's not talking about being a drug dealer.
So he's got the best of both worlds, because it's super fun. Yeah. And popular. It's the pop music thing. And he's not a monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
which would be an argument to be made, because then he has a song later called Monster, asserting that he is a monster.
Oh, that he is? He might be a monster? Wait, what's that one about?
We'll get to that if we want to. All
right.
But, so College Dropout was a huge hit. It was his debut album. It did great. Did 10 Grammy nominations.
Wow.
It was also Dave Chappelle had him on his show. I mean, it was with Common. He was he did the beat on and I believe sang the hook on Common's song "The Food" on the album B. Okay. And Chappelle had him as a live performer, and Kanye was there, and he was kind of just fucking around in the background. And there's a good story that Chappelle tells about the time that they all kind of hung out and met for the first time, and Chappelle was like editing. They were in the editing room. Kanye, he doesn't know Kanye, and Kanye gets a phone call, and he just tells the person on the other line, like, I can't talk right now. They say, probably ask why, and he's like, because I'm in the editing room for Chappelle's sketch show that nobody's seen yet. And then why? And he was like, because I'm dope and I do dope shit. And that was a quote, and people still quote it.
Yeah.
And Chappelle loves to tell that story.
Right.
It's a good story.
It is a good story.
It's that ego that Kanye has that everybody loves. Everybody loves. And, well, not everybody. Everybody hates it too. But the people who love him love his ego.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's what I was, when, because there are people who don't like him.
They hate him.
Like, it's like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
People either love him or hate him. And you're like, why so strong?
Right. But
yeah.
Kanye has given a lot of people reasons to hate him. If you are kind of like indifferent about him, he's definitely given people reasons to hate him. You know, like the Taylor Swift incident at the VMAs, when he drunkenly got on stage, took the mic from her, and said that Beyonce's video was a
was that
video.
him?
Yes, that was him. And that, you know,
there's a reason to say, hey, fuckwit, get some help.
Right.
Is what you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is what he needed.
Right. Because that sort of drunken, my girlfriend's better than you.
Right. Not his girlfriend, his friend. He was saying Beyonce. He wasn't dating Beyonce. He just.
Who married Beyonce?
Jay-Z.
Was it Dwayne Kennedy?
No.
And
he wishes.
Yeah, he does. But so wait, so Jay-Z is with Beyonce. Yeah, I knew that. I swear to God, I knew that.
It's okay.
Who did Kanye marry?
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. It's somebody else.
You knew it was another.
I knew it was another famous
person.
Amazing marketing genius.
Yes, you knew
is exactly how I think of both Beyonce and Kim Kardashian.
I mean, at least Beyonce, at least she sacrificed her childhood to be where she's at. Like
did she?
Yeah, she did. She worked her little ass off. Her dad kind of made her this little soldier. I mean, it was the Jackson 5. You know the Jackson 5 upbringing.
Yeah.
Familiar with that? So Beyonce did the Disney version of that, where she didn't get the shit kicked out of her, but she definitely
was a Mouseketeer?
No. I just mean she had the Joe Jackson upbringing, but without the abuse.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's why I say it's the Disney version.
Fair enough.
Because they did like boot camp style, and she did like get homeschooled, and it was all an investment. Beyonce's career was an investment, a sacrifice since she was a little girl, and a lot of people don't know that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and that's why when people were like, "Oh, she doesn't," I'm like, "Dude, she fucking has been doing this since she was Michael Jackson's
she put
age
in
when
her
she
time.
started." She did. She put in her time.
Yeah.
And so it's no surprise that she got a record deal when she was a teenager. And
what I like about Kim Kardashian, and I don't know enough about her to like or hate her, but is that she took what was clearly nothing but a pretty like wealthy upbringing, got a weird reality show and turned it into a goddamn empire.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the mother is a businesswoman, and she taught her girls how to be that.
Right. But, but I think whoever, if it wasn't Kim herself, if it was her mom, they just have created something that is gross, but is enormously profitable for the entire family, and it'll repercussions for generations.
Yeah,
everybody doesn't have to pay for college.
Nobody. They're not going to college, but
they don't have to go to college. One of their nerd backpacks grandchildren will want to go to college.
I keep hoping Northwest, which is Kim and Kanye's first child, I keep hoping she's going to retaliate, and like rebel against her parents.
Yeah,
and just be like this quiet homebody.
I want to be a librarian.
Yeah,
excellent.
We know that's not going to happen, but in my heart, I'm like, come on, just try.
Oh, it'd be so great. Anyway, so he married Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. But that's jumping way ahead.
Oh yeah,
Jackie.
Well, we're at 35 minutes.
We're at 35, so I'll breeze through a couple things.
Okay.
He had 2 other albums, Late Registration, Graduation, both also great after college dropout, but all very similar in sound, but they all did great. They had smashing success. And they were the 3 records that defined him. And then in 2005, that Hurricane Katrina happened. And they had that MTV benefit.
Yeah.
And he was like, George Bush doesn't care about black people. And that stirred a lot of controversy. Do you have something to say? There she goes.
No, I was just going to say that he does pipe up.
He does
with
pipe
the Taylor Swift, and now was Taylor Swift more recently than the George Bush thing?
I think it was in 2009. I want to say.
So I think it was after.
Yeah, it was after. So
because I do remember what he said about George Bush, and all I remember thinking is right. You were not wrong.
But imagine if you didn't...
If I was a racist?
No, but imagine if you didn't watch all those videos of black people dying by cops on Twitter. You know what I mean? The mindset was different when it happened in 2005. And so he got a lot of backlash, but a lot of people were like, like you. It's like, of course that's true.
Right.
And who knows if it helped? I don't know. But it got a dialogue going with a lot of people. And that's a lot of times what Kanye does, which I love.
Okay.
And then in 2007, his mother passed away. She was getting a liposuction and a breast reduction, and she died.
Oh, I heard of that too. Was she in a strip mall?
I don't know.
One of the strip mall hospitals.
That I don't know.
Okay.
But
and it's not that they aren't real facilities. Because that's how things happen here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
They are real sanctioned facilities. But it felt weird.
Yeah.
Because you were like, well, she should be at Kaiser.
Yeah.
And so,
well, and I think because he paid for it, I think he took a lot of the blame. He blamed himself for it. And maybe he couldn't talk her out of it, or he wanted to, or I don't know.
Right.
Because it was cosmetic. And so, he went into a deep, dark spiral. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Which is why 2 years later, he was drunk on stage interrupting Taylor Swift, because he was just out of his mind.
Yeah.
And anyone who's lost a parent knows that if you don't get the help immediately, it can fuck you up for a long time. And that is what happened with me.
Yeah.
And luckily I had friends, and luckily I wasn't famous. So
not being famous will help, because then you will get to be solo and be sad.
Yeah, exactly.
And your friends and family can help you and go, you get to be sad.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Be sad.
I had an incident happen in a festival where I was, like I said from earlier, like the smoking drives me crazy. But right after he died, I was at this festival, drunk out of my mind, pulling cigarettes, freshly lit cigarettes out of people's mouths and hands, and throwing them on the ground, stepping on it, doing this whole, just acting crazy.
Right.
My friends, a lot of my black and brown friends were like, "Hey, we're having a brown people meeting, black and brown people meeting." I was like, all drunk. Yeah, cool. I love that. And they pulled me aside. It was like, I want to say Solomon, Frank Quinones, Kevin Kamiya, Chris Garcia, like all these guys who love me, pulled me into this room, and I was like, okay, cool. What are we talking about? And they're like, you need to fucking behave. They all pulled me into
killing us.
They held me accountable. They were like, they're not going to ask us back if you keep acting like this, and And I was just like, oh my God, those men, like these friends love me enough to be like, we got to hold you accountable. And I listened, because when you do it that way, you know, your friends are your friends. Your friends are your friends for a reason. And I listened, and I behaved after that. And I was like trying to be more aware of my behavior after that.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 4 years later, I ended up getting diagnosed with PTSD. So I was like, oh, I really was fucked up for 4 years. You know?
Yeah.
So I think about Kanye with that, because his mom was his world.
Yeah.
His world. She raised him as a single mother. He was the woman that he compared all the women in his life to. And she was brilliant. She was amazing. And you could tell they had a strong bond. So he lost her. It destroyed him.
Does he have siblings?
No, he's an only child.
Wow.
So it was just the two of them.
Okay.
And he raps about it a lot, and his relationship with her was really it was sweet, but so when she passed away, it changed.
Devastating. Yeah.
Devastating. It changed who he was. He then a year later he came out with 808s and Heartbreaks, and that album was really sad and dark, and you could hear it, but it was interesting because he was using an 808 machine, which unlike a sampler is just a drum machine. He makes his own beats on it.
Okay.
You know, there's no other sounds to be sampled. It's just what you choose to make and how you choose to loop it.
Is it 808?
808, the number 808, because it's some particular brand.
Okay. Yeah. It's an 808 machine.
Yeah, it's an 808 machine. And so this album is called 808s and Heartbreaks. And I remember he was like slowly leaking songs at the time. And that was when, like, if somebody leaked a song, it was a big fucking deal. You know, now everybody puts their music for free online.
Yeah.
But back then it was like, oh shit, imagine having so much money. They're just giving it out for free.
Yeah.
It was almost like a reaction to like Napster and LimeWire, because they were like, they're already stealing it, so we might as well give it to them.
Right, just take it.
Take it.
Take it in the correct order,
and
don't have the pops.
Yeah, and 808s and Heartbreaks was it was almost like emo rap, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
because it was sad. It was just sad because he was also going through he broke off an engagement with a woman he had been engaged to for a long time and had been dating for a long time. I want to say a 10-year relationship or something. And so
really, I mean, really, not to dance to.
It wasn't. Right. It was not to dance to. And you couldn't blame him. You're like, yeah, of course, this is what you're going to put out.
Yeah, this is what you write. You write what you write.
Of course it is. Yeah. And he used auto-tune, and nobody was using auto-tune. And he was really experimental. And that album influenced a lot of the rap that we hear now, because I came out in 2008, so it's been 10 years?
Yeah.
So a lot of the men who were children when that came out are now adults making rap.
Yeah.
So they don't know a rap history without 808s and Heartbreak.
Oh, right.
Which is insane, because, male rappers weren't that sad and open. And this motherfucker was already open about everything.
Right.
And he really delved into it. Mm-hmm. And to me, it changed a lot. I'm like, we wouldn't have someone like Tyler, the Creator, in my opinion, or Drake, or some of these guys who, not that I love Drake or anything, but he gets to be as emotional as you want to.
Yeah.
Without having to sing R&B music.
Right.
And, that in rap was so rare. And then Kanye changed that. And,
so he changed the industry like twice.
Many times.
Yeah, so many, amazing stuff.
He's done a lot of amazing stuff. Like I said, if you're a hip hop journalist, you'll probably be yelling at the podcast right now.
Not just many times, right.
No, or I disagree. There's just people that think Kanye isn't shit, and they think that he's not good at anything.
Oh, wow.
So it's arguable both ways, but the way I see it, as a woman, woman of color, I'm like, nope, he did a lot for a lot of motherfuckers.
And you loved it.
I loved it so much.
Yeah.
And it was actually atmosphere kind of made me go, oh, rap doesn't have to be one thing.
Yeah.
And Kanye just that was it for me. Kanye was my favorite for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And which I didn't say, College Dropout influenced me to drop out of college.
Oh.
Because that came out in 2004, and I think I was 19 at that time. And a couple years later, I dropped out of school and I just pursued stand-up because I was like, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. And this is a waste of money.
It's an enormous waste of money that I always wanted to drop out of college. My sister was like, turns out she's the boss of me. And was like, you're going to graduate. It's just 4 more years, she said to me that first year. And I was like, okay. And then the next year she said, it's just 4 more years.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't good at it.
Yeah. And that was the thing. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I'd stand up. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And I know I could do it. And it was like in the way, and I guess that's why I love Kanye too, is because I see myself in him. And he's even quoted in saying that one of his quotes, God, I wish I could remember it, and I'm going to fuck it up. But he's like,
we're paraphrasing.
Yes, we're paraphrasing. He says, if you're a fan of me, you're not a fan of Kanye West. You're a fan of yourself.
Dude.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's true. And I think that a lot of people, especially minorities, they need to have that. They need to have that mindset more often, because white men have that mindset all the time. Yeah. They're like, I'm the shit. Everything I do is perfect. Everything I do, even if I fuck up, it's fine because I did it.
Right. Well,
I wish more people were that way. Men and men of color, I was going to say.
Right. Well, I was wondering who somebody said, I wish I had the confidence of a mediocre white guy.
Yeah.
That sort of, that was exactly. A meme or something, right?
That's true.
And it's not, it's not that anybody's handing anybody $20 bills under the table, but the lack of obstacles is something, if any Rangers of the Dork Forest are out there who are not aware enough to know that the things that aren't happening are the advantages. That those are actual advantages, you guys. So, but I think most of the Rangers do. I mean, the Dork Forest is full.
I can't imagine someone who is a fan of yours would be that fucking dense.
Why? Thank you. And this could be the teaser clip, you guys. I'm amazing. Anyway, so
see the ego. I love it.
And
that's what I do love that. I love when people have, especially women, men of color. I wish had it more, but more in a focused sense, because they do have it, but it's very materialistic.
Well, and it's created, and it has to come out big. Yeah. Because nobody's supporting them.
Right.
So they're like, well, I don't know if you know this, I'm amazing.
Yeah.
Well, inside they're like, you better at least think I'm okay.
Yeah.
And because I am bigger than all of you fuckers. I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's that. And like my father is an immigrant child and an only child of Armenian parents who worshipped him like he was the sun. So his sense of entitlement and, he is beloved.
Yeah.
And I've always said this about, like, my sister and I were raised with the same. My father's one of my favorite things my father ever said. He said, "You might as well do whatever you want because I'm going to make fun of you either way."
That's great.
And he's like, "Dude, live your, be what you want to be. I'm going to make fun of you either way."
Right.
So, you want to be a teacher? That's a dumb job. And I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a forest ranger. And then when I wanted to be a comic, he was like, "But you're going to get a job, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, so he said, do whatever,
Yeah.
And my sister and I were expected to be just as successful and just as big of failures as our brothers.
Wow,
so
good for you.
It was kind of,
it's a luxury.
it was.
I was the opposite.
Your father?
Oh no,
you were a flower?
Oh no.
What were you supposed to be?
We were just. It was a constant battle since I was a kid because the boys were they were like raised that way of like the boys can do whatever they want, can be whatever they want. Women have to be a certain thing all the time, and that's why I can burp really loud because it used to piss my dad off.
There you go.
And then you really threw him into a rage, and I was like, well, I can't control it, but every time I did it, I just got bigger and stronger at it. Now, as a 33-year-old woman, I can burp like a goddamn fucking disgusting,
like a truck,
like an animal. And now my dad's dead, so it pisses off no one. It just grosses everybody out. Or they're like, "Ooh, this is." The white dudes are like, "How arousing." I'm like, "You guys are gross," and I regret all of those decisions. But anyways. And my brothers were just like, they can do.
How many brothers?
I had 2 brothers and 1 sister, and my brothers were rewarded for any little thing. Meanwhile, I remember getting straight A's and just being. They were just like, "Well, yeah, you should be getting straight A's," and I'm like, "You." Fucking assholes.
Yes.
Like, I want toys for my grades too. Like, I want rewards for what I do too. Like, I deserve it more than they do.
Right. That's it. Well, because it was funny because when my sister was born, my grandmother actually said to her when she was like 9 or 10 years old, she said to my sister, because I have 4 older brothers and then my sister was born, and my grandmother said to my sister, "Well, I was so happy when you were born," and I'm not doing it was in a thick Armenian accent. She was like, "It's so great you were born because now there's someone to take care of the boys."
Oh my God.
And my sister said, "You're thinking of someone else." And which is the greatest line.
That's great.
But we all got when my mom died. I'm so sorry. It was the best thing that happened. And so my stepmother came into our lives, and my dad, and there were charts and graphs. But when our grades came, when the things, my brothers were such shitty students, and they had raised themselves they were genuine animals. Yeah, and so
most men are. Okay, go ahead.
What?
I said most men are.
Well, but my brother Russ, who was babied by my grandmother, was like, and just Kilimanjaro needed to get out of fucking South Milwaukee so that he can come back to South Milwaukee as a hero. But Nancy had this thing. She was like, you get a quarter. I think it was a quarter for every A, 15 cents for every B, nothing for a C, negative 15 cents for a D. You're grounded till next quarter, and negative 25 cents. So like if you made $3.50, you were psyched. You were a fucking genius.
Yeah.
And but it was something that was for all of us. So I like that there was whenever sexism happened when I grew up, I was always surprised.
Right.
Because I was like, I'm a boy.
Right.
I'm not to be treated as some sort of girl.
Yeah.
Which by the way, took me a long time to get laid.
Right.
Long time, because I'm like, I don't want to sleep with them. They're women.
Right.
I would like to sleep with men, but I don't know how to talk to them because they're used to, men and women are treated differently.
I'm the same for the opposite reasons. Because my ego came as a reaction to being told, like, no, you're a girl, so you have to do this and you have to act like this. And I was like, fuck that, fuck you. I'm not just as good. I'm better than the boys.
There you go.
Don't fucking talk to me like that.
Yeah.
And that's how I came about, because I was like, I was like, the logic isn't there. The math doesn't add up. Like, if you can't explain this to me logically, then you can't explain it. So it doesn't make sense.
So it's not real.
And I was that way since I was a kid.
That's
8 years old. I was arguing with my dad. We were getting into screaming matches when I was 8 years old because I was like, no, fuck. I was like, I didn't know what feminism was. I just knew that what I thought was for sure correct.
Right.
You know?
Right. And not to be not correct only because you were a girl.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I remember the one time my father was weirdly sexist. It was the flower bee thing, was when I'd do a bit about it, where he came into the kitchen. He said, all right, we're going to have the talk. The bee goes from flower to flower. The flower doesn't go from bee to bee.
Yeah.
Guess which one you are. But he was just being a dick. He wasn't even serious.
Yeah.
And, and literally that was the only time we ever discussed anything. My sister had a date in 10th grade. He followed her.
Oh, wow.
Because he thought it was funny, not because he wanted to protect her.
Yeah.
Or thought, I mean, he didn't want to protect any of us. He used to say that I want kids I can drop into the desert with a Bowie knife and then they find their way back. And I remember one of my brothers going, why have you dropped us in the desert?
Yeah.
Don't leave us in the desert. Dad.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's funny because it's like, I didn't date. We weren't allowed to date. We weren't allowed, and I was boy crazy and we weren't allowed to do anything with any boy. Mm-hmm. But then you reach a certain age and they're like, well, why can't you get a boyfriend? Are you a lesbian? And I was like, okay, so now I'm a lesbian because you guys wouldn't let me talk to boys. What the fuck?
How are you supposed to get any skills doing this nonsense?
Yeah, so
anyway, so you're busy listening to Kanye.
I didn't get laid till later also. But anyhow.
Yes.
Are we good?
No, we got some time.
Okay, good.
Let's do it.
I've got a lot going on here.
We weeded off you guys.
Yeah, so the Taylor Swift thing happened, and it was because he was drunk. He was dating Amber Rose, who I still think is his actual soulmate. Amber Rose was a stripper.
Oh, okay.
And Kanye West, her dating Kanye West made her famous.
Okay.
And she's now famous. And she has that slut walk in October. I don't know if you've heard about it.
No,
Slut walk in LA.
In LA?
It's like the first weekend in October.
Okay.
She's an interesting gal. So they dated and that's when that incident happened. And then he got a lot of backlash. But I remember that because I was like, back in the Facebook days when you would like actually care about Facebook. Nowadays, I don't know what the deal is anymore, but I remember like being like, yeah, good for Kanye for saying that and I lost friendships over that Taylor Swift shit because I was like, fuck her. I don't care. What he said was correct. And I mean, yeah, he was being a dick, but I mean, who cares about these awards?
Right.
Right. And
I'm sure it hurt Taylor Swift's
it did, and then she's turned out to be a cunt anyways. So yeah, and so that's just like, yeah, she deserved it. He was right the whole time. He saw the future, like I said. He could always see the future. She deserved it. But it was mean, but Beyonce was really sweet about it because later when she got Video of the Year, which was funny about it is because the whole thing was Taylor Swift was one female Video of the Year.
Yeah.
And then Beyonce won Video of the Year. So that logic didn't make sense.
Right.
Because it's like if Beyonce wins Video of the Year, that means she should win all the Video of the Year nominations, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the logic didn't stand, but Beyonce was sweet enough that when she won her award, she was like, I remember being a teenager, getting nominated, and it was so exciting, and I don't want to take that away from anybody. And she brought Taylor back on. Like, she was very, very sweet about it.
Yeah.
And it was like brownie points for her, of course.
Yeah.
And Kanye looked like a drunken dickhead, and he was,
yeah.
But I didn't give a shit, and so he then released in 2010 "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy," which is arguably his best album. I mean, people say that's his
Are
best
we dancing
album.
again?
Is it a dance? Everything.
Oh, it's all the things.
Oh my god, it's everything. There are some songs you can dance to.
Okay.
There's some songs you're just in your car like, oh my god, this shit is the hardest shit I've ever heard, like the song Monster, which was Nicki Minaj was on that track and was probably the best verse she's ever had, which is proof that she's not good at what she does. and
Nicki Minaj dorks can come on later.
Yeah, I can't imagine that fans
Smiley.
of Jackie Cation are also fans of Nicki Minaj.
You would be surprised.
Really?
I have no idea.
So, and that had so many dope songs.
What's it called again?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
There we go.
And to me, it's about a lot of things, but a lot about his love for Amber Rose.
Okay.
And
that was in 2010.
That was in 2010. And he had also, leading up to it, he had these things called Good Fridays, when he would release a free song each Friday.
Wow.
And it was a few Fridays, and it was the fucking best. And some of those songs ended up on the album. Some of them didn't.
Okay.
It was so fucking dope. And it had all these fucking guest artists. I mean, it was like RZA and like from the Wu-Tang Clan and Common and Kid Cudi, like the album and the Good Friday. Like, it was such a fucking cool time for. It was like peak. If he's gonna have a peak, and he still has had a great career since then,
right?
But in terms of music, I feel like that was one of the moments where everybody was just tuned in to him.
Right,
and it was so good. And the album was good. He had a whole like a mini movie release, and it was so beautiful. He had all these ballerinas. It was just visually captivating.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. It was really beautiful. It was really well thought out. And yeah, so that was dope. And then for whatever reason, he left Amber Rose, or I don't know what happened. He cheated on her. Oh, he cheated on her with Kim Kardashian.
Oh, he did?
Which was the girl of his dreams, quote unquote. He has always claimed that was his girl of his dreams. Kim
Kardashian.
Even though she's the dumbest bitch on the planet. Smart businesswoman.
Right.
Dumb human.
I have not. I'm not a reality television person.
Neither am I.
Because I already know stupid people.
Right.
I can't possibly watch.
There used to be, you know what, for a long time, because that show's been on the air for I don't know how many years, but there was a point in time where I would make myself watch like 5 minutes once a year to make sure that my opinion was correct. I was like, you know what, maybe they got interesting.
It's just not for.
I don't like being a hater and not having the knowledge to hate. Like, I want to be a knowledgeable hater.
You know what I like to be? A person without a care in the world. I want the indifference to burn like the powers of hell.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, I'm sure, whatever. And which is kind of what the Dork Forest is, but that's kind of rude. But
yeah, I like being filled with rage. I'm happiest when I'm angry. I had
I worked at this Northern Sun Merchandising in the 90s. I may have told the story, Rangers. I'm in the it's a hippie skippy t-shirt poster thing, right? And my boss, Scott Kramer, was dating a Native American woman, and he bought into it. He was on board. The dream catchers alone. And so, but there was, and we had a couple of Native Americans who worked at that thing. And one of the women, I was listening, I think it was to my KRS-One album. I have two. And so
I only believe that you have one.
Well, very possible. I also, and I have actually more than that, because I don't count edutainment because it was brutal.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's called edutainment. It makes you want to cut yourself. So
what's it called?
Edutainment. It's
just like having you say it.
When Scott LaRock died, so many things died. Anyway. I'm so sorry, KRS-One. Chris,
he's listening right now.
He is listening right now, and I'm sure he thought it was the end of the world when Scott LaRock died as well, because it was very sad. But the so I'm listening to this album, and this woman Cynthia comes up to me, and she's Lakota, and she's like, "I can't believe you listened to this." And I said, "I like it. Sometimes it makes me mad." And there's this pause, and she goes, "You need music to get mad?" She was one of the most terrifying women I've ever met in my life. She was hilarious, but she was genuinely the coldest fucking. I was like, "Oh, she would kill me." If she were mad at me enough, I would be a dead person.
Yeah. If I want to like really go into a full blown rage, I'll listen to System of a Down in the car.
Oh yeah, they're Armenian, you know.
Yeah, I know they are. That's very dangerous. Me driving with listening to System of a Down is bad news. I drive like a fucking lunatic, and I already drive like a lunatic.
Anyhow, so let's wrap it.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll wrap it by saying he came out with Yeezus in 2013.
Oh yeah.
And that album was really intense, and it was very the wealthy black experience, and it was like his perspective was, I mean, something that a lot of people can't relate to.
Yeah.
And the production was insane. The sound, a lot of people hated.
Okay.
And I don't blame anybody for their opinion on that album, because it's so left field.
Okay.
Like we thought 808s and Heartbreaks was experimental and interesting, but this was like so fucking wild.
Yeah.
And but the thing that I always think about was funny is because he has a song called New Slaves, and it's about being wealthy and black in America and that experience and that fight that you have and being followed around in the store to going from going for that to going to like people all of a sudden want you to buy everything because they know you're a wealthy black person. They're like, oh, you blacks like to like diamonds and furs, right? You blacks like that. So he has a whole song about that.
Oh my God.
It's really intense.
Yeah.
It's really fucking intense. And you know, all I thought when I heard that album was, I can't imagine him playing these tracks in the studio to Kim Kardashian and her understanding any of it.
Well,
she's just like, oh my God, that's amazing. No, she's so stupid.
Right.
Wait.
Calabasas doesn't really set you up to really be
because
available.
after they had their first daughter, 6 months after she was born, she put out a blog about, I do think racism is real. And it's like, how can you marry
Kanye West.
How can Kanye West of all people, most informed, his father was a Black Panther.
Yeah.
His mother was a professor of English in Chicago.
Yeah.
And you're married to a woman who just suddenly believes that racism is real.
It's real, you guys.
You know what I mean? And then he plays that song for her and she's just like, that's hot. Like, what is she going to say?
Yeah.
And I hate that men that are that intelligent can even entertain the idea of being with a woman like that.
Yeah.
That's what frustrates me with Kanye. That's just proof he's a human and he is flawed.
Right.
Which is why we started this whole thing.
Exactly. And it's one of his most beautiful traits, actually. It's the thing that you love about the guy the most.
Yes.
And no doubt makes you go, oh, there has to be someone else for you.
Yeah. And that's why I always say that Amber Rose was his true soulmate. He just fucked it up because he was lusting over this other broad who has turned out to be filled with, injections and fake parts, and which is how he lost his mom. So I'm like, how do you even condone that? How do you even allow your daughter to see that? It's a weird situation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's he is fascinating though.
Yeah, and there's all these interviews, or he did this BBC interview with Zane Lowe that was so fucking fascinating. A lot of people hated it because he said some really intense shit.
Yeah.
That's something I recommend if anybody wants to.
Zane Lowe, how do you spell that?
Oh God.
L-O-E? L-O-W?
L-O-W-E probably. I don't
BBC?
remember. Yes.
Okay. People can look it up under that.
Yeah. They should know. And once it pops up, and it's really crazy.
Yeah. And people are always asking famous people and in my opinion, they keep asking comedians their opinions about things. Mm-hmm. And without any information, I will give you my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not, if you don't want a weird from the hip answer, ask someone who has all the information.
Yeah.
So, because comics and actors will Matt Damon.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Matt Damon.
It's just slapping her ass. You're like, shh, no one's accused you of anything. You really got to keep it together, bro.
Yeah.
And so it's very dumb.
Well, another thing that I don't like that people do is they answer hypothetical questions. People need to stop doing that.
Oh, like questions nobody even asked?
Nobody needs to ask hypothetical questions. Well, if you were in that situation, will you fuck off?
No.
That's not a question.
That isn't real.
That isn't real.
That didn't happen. It's
not going to happen. Mm-hmm. People need to stop asking hypothetical questions. We're not going to evolve as a society if we focus on fiction.
You have talked about something large and amazing and big. I'm going to make it minutia again by saying that Nick Swartzen went up at this show and somebody said something to him so that he could tell a joke about something that was gross but funny. And then Louis C.K. went up right after him and said, nobody asked you that, Nick. Nobody ever asked you that. You just made it up so that you could write that joke.
Yeah.
And that has always stuck with me. That and any number of things. But it always stuck with me because I was like, oh, don't pretend that somebody asked you a question if they didn't.
Right.
Just tell them that you were thinking about a thing.
Right.
Because your brain's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Just tell the joke.
That's the thing. Joke. That's the thing about entertainment and comedy specifically is we do get to go on stage and go in and out of truth, reality, and all this fun shit. But I hate when people do interviews with someone that's real, who has real opinions, and they ask them hypothetical. I'm like, that is not a smart way of having a dialogue.
That is a journalism.
Yeah, that's not journalism.
Yeah, I don't know what. Well, what? Yeah.
I had a debate with this man recently, and I had to be like, you can't ask me hypothetical questions. I don't answer them. And I realized that's all he does to women. He asks them hypothetical questions to corner them.
Oh, right. It's like it's a weird defense mechanism.
It's power.
It's a power trip,
yes.
and to change the dialogue entirely.
Well, it's also
they don't want to have the conversation,
right? And that's the thing is he wanted to be able to control and navigate the conversation and come out looking like the more intelligent person.
Yeah,
but it's not smart. It's bad. It's bad conversation.
It does. Turns out, Marcella Arguello. Is logic is your everything.
Oh my God, it turns me on.
Since you were 8.
Since I was a child.
It's at Marcella Comedy on Twitter, and fucking go watch her do stand-up because it's outstanding.
Yeah, every Wednesday, Women Crush Wednesdays, please. We're just starting.
And then just follow her on Twitter. And you know the rules out there, Rangers. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?